Okay, here's some free stuff. Go to this site here. I'll put the link below. But this has got to be the coolest, freest thing in the world. And they've kind of made this a little bit easier to run, and I didn't have to sign in, I don't think. They want you to create a, everybody wants you to register these days. They want to hook you up. I'm going to hook you up. Be good to go. I'm going to hock you in China to your grave. I'm going to chase you down with spam till you're dead. But the coolest thing about this program is there's a chart here I never saw before in my life, and I still haven't found anybody talking about it. What the hell do you do with a forest chart, people? So this is pretty cool. You can print. This is a great place to come to print stuff out because it's running white all the time, and it doesn't show you the ask. You just see the bid, and you can compare this bid to the bid your broker's giving you. And I guess you can do arbitrage against this stuff coming in here. This is pretty much the this is the consensus of price. All these prices in here. And then they got really cool. If you go into the, if you download the app or you put on, you log into this other more complex thing that has the whole everything going on. Like you're at the stock exchange. But here's just the basics. Is the Dow up? Is the Dow down? I think they let you trade here, but they added trading to this thing. But I don't think I'd want. I mean. Most of the stuff I'm thinking about is, say, like right now, if I want to put a buy stop in here, or I want to put a buy limit 10 pips deep, I want to be looking at the chart that I'm trading off of, but I guess I could have this on another monitor and just print stuff off it and run a hard copy that you can scribble on. Because when you get bored, the last thing you want to do is be testing out some ridiculous trading strategy and exposing yourself, unless you kind of gave a gauge to what you could expect from the market sloshing around. And here, if you just go with the defaults, they will let you zoom in and manipulate this. But I guess it's one of those things that if you want to check the market from your phone or something, you don't really want to have to rely on the fact that you don't have the right platform, the right, or you don't have enough memory in your phone. You just go to the site and boom, you can see the damn market. And this forest chart is just, to me, just when I saw this, I just said, there has to be somebody that's doing analysis on this. What in the hell? I mean, current price is so, I mean, look at this thing. You can have a 3-second chart running in here. So if you're a scalper and you know what a hammer looks like, if you know what a doji or a hammer, you just pull the trigger, right? You get the market on a 3-second chart because you're only going to be in for 5 minutes, which is nothing but a 5-minute retracement, and you're going to be trading a 10-second chart. So you're whatever 10 times, how many bars? 50 bars? 5 bars? 5 bars. So the fractal, you're going to slice that fractal down. So you're going to do 3 seconds to 30 minutes. So you're trading a 30-minute bar chart for your swing. You're going to scalp and swing on that. And then you're looking for this for entry. And you're just watching it with your hand on the trigger. I mean, you got to take those first few pips so that you can pay for the kickback and the ride through the next run. But that's pretty funny. The forest chart maybe works better on the 5-second. So you only sell it if you're up here. Of course, when you're up here, I guess you don't see that. You see that you're totally on the other side. More. It's my first time on this new design here, but let's go to the larger time frame there. But I guess you're still drawing trend lines like this. You're still going to do the classic you know, this is the closing prices only, I suppose. And then here, yeah, so it's close. And there you're just going to draw like that's 3 hours. There's a nice perfect wedge. So here's your triangle, but it's just so weird looking. You just kind of showing you the void, I suppose. It's still showing you these voids, and I guess the bars if you scrunch out. Anyways, I thought it was crazy. Thought I'd share the insanity of it all. But yeah, that's interesting. And then, of course, another thing that's really cool is if you do draw in here, you put this on line chart. And I think when you draw on this, you can make it so it snaps to the high and close. It'll automatically draw perfect on close, so you don't have to... I don't think you can make it snap to the prices inside of MetaTrader. I think you're stuck with the having to scooch it in there manually. What the hell is the drawing tools in here? Maybe there is none. So you do draw a line. Stay in drawing mode. Okay. Didn't know I was in. Anyways, it does. It snaps to the... I don't see a drawing tool. Drawings. I guess I'd have to pay. But I could just draw here manually. But it does snap beautifully to the... but see, here's your inverted head and shoulders. Here's your shoulder, your head, your shoulder. And, you know, you can draw a trend line here where it breaks and finds support. And here's a 3-hour chart, for God's sake. So it proves that price over time matters. As you go through each time frame here, and so you can print these all out and just get a real ruler and just draw on this stuff and just see, oh, I see like a correlation there. It's crazy. Maybe this is the head, maybe this is a shoulder, maybe this is a shoulder, or maybe this is the shoulder. But it certainly comes back to the scene of the crime. And every time you shift this, so let's go through the time frames in. Oh, how cute! It's remembering my favorite time frames. Here's a 2-hour. And here's a classic top, bottom becomes a top on the 2-hour. Perfect setup on the 2-hour. And you're running this, right? And you've got your other... MetaTrader may not be running a 2-hour chart unless you're in MT5, but MT5 is not going to run your scripts, so you're screwed. That's the whole problem. See, the older stuff is better because it's more functional. The newer stuff is glitzy, but it's completely incompetent. I don't know if this is a trend, but I guess this is what happens. Like, Facebook starts off clean and simple. Next thing you know, they overload the fucking thing. And the funniest thing I ever saw in my life was when they decided they were going to put Facebook up on the stock exchange. And they said, well, you know what? It can't go lower than, I don't know, $29 or $15. And I said, what kind of market is rigged? Talk about rigged. I mean, right broad... Well, we're going to open the market, but you can't bid, you can only bid it up. You can't bid it down. What? Then when they let the lock go, and gee, it went down like $13, and I'm like, what the hell kind of? Who's even trading the stock market? If you think Forex is rigged, and God, I mean, apparently the high frequency traders, if you don't know how to trade the other side of what they're trading, then you shouldn't even be trading to begin with. If you're going to complain about the high-frequency traders are getting in your way, and the market makers and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you don't even... You have to be your own market maker, so you have to be one of those people. I guess you despise, right? This is why this test, all this X22 report shit I watch. All these people are like, poor me. I'm like, shut the fuck up and trade this shit. God damn it. So here's the... sorry. Got away from me there. But I don't know, after a while, you know, you just have nowhere to because YouTube's the only outlet to just go off and just go, look at this 2-hour chart, perfect double top. All you got to do is watch the 1-hour clock with your hand on the trigger, or If you just take the lazy route, you just put a pending sell limit at the last known high. I'm still watching these videos. Why am I watching these technical analysis videos? 1 hour long. Sign up for our course. It's $100 a month. Are you fucking kidding me? And the guy's getting in here. Well, we're going to get in here when it breaks and confirms the down run. What? Are you kidding me? It's a joke, right? It's just a torturous it's psych ops for people that know how to do it. It's like watching the guy. Look at this beautiful double top here. Wow, it just, on a 2 hour. Bottom becomes a top. Bottom becomes a top. Geez, I don't know. Maybe we should just throw it, since it had a slight rally. Hey, let's put a trend trade in. This is the trend continuation entry. Not this shit. Well, we're going to sell up here. I mean, we're in a downtrend. So what we're going to do is we'll wait for it to come all the way to here and get it. Oh, are you kidding me? Well, yeah, because that's my 50-day moving average. I'm like, dude, you're buying down here. It just went clean down. And you can't. Oh, here's the thing. Sorry. I'm really wound up today. I can't take it. I can't say it. The market's going to open. I'm all giddy. There's a line dot in here. There should be, damn it. Here it is. This is the ultimate. This is why you come to this site. The line dot gives you the count. When I saw this, I just about died. Because I said to myself, I can count this. 2 times 4 is 8. 8-hour creeper gear up. I don't know if you've ever been in this trade before, but you're like, oh, come on already. Because you know where it's going to, right? You know it's going to here. Well, we all know that this was the point at which people had to get the fuck out. And this will again be another issue. Especially this one is way more important because this, and you can see this is this took 8 hours. So you know you're waiting for this, and you're waiting a long time for these stupid breakouts. But these are gimme trades, right? This is trend continuation entry. Buying down here and getting out up here, maybe a trend continuation on the 5 minute. If this is a 5-second chart, I'd be like, yeah, we are buying everything below here like you cannot believe. And as soon as it comes to here, we're dumping. And look how these dots give you the exact time and price. It doesn't get any better than, you can't trade off this. Well, they let you trade, I guess, but you can't run any elaborate scripts where you have, say you have a bunch of pendings up here, and maybe you're actually, as this thing's going up, you're just hitting the buy key, right? I mean, you can see this is the momentum's dying out here. In 4 hours, you're coming into a scrunch zone. And so you're just putting these buy stops, and you're like, you know, this ain't gone forever. This is all I had my buddy, my tequila-holic buddy, who I was trying to get to trade, but he just got so emotional. He flipped out, and he just dropped the mic, as they say. And because he would make so much money, he would swing trade it, because he's like stubborn as an ox. So he would swing trade this puppy. He'd load up as it plunges. He's like, it's going up. Can't go down forever. And I said, yeah, you're right. It cannot go down forever. And I kept telling him, this is the key. It cannot go down forever. And look at the velocity on this puppy. 2 hours we dropped this. The coolest thing about this is, if you put a bar chart behind this or something, you're going to totally skew your interpretation of price over time and what it takes to sit in a fucking trade for this long and see how creeper gear tops become bottoms, and you're like, oh, you're making money, right? But this is a painful way to make money. This is just the funnest thing in the world, and notice the cycle interval is so obvious here that this is the best part about it also. You can see here that this is completely 50%. I mean, pauses. Inside that 2 hour, there's probably a triangle or some flag, and then bam. And for a lot of people that were buying, they're going to try to buy this top because this is supposed to become a bottom. And maybe they've got a trend line out here, and they got the perfect setup. And you know these guys are getting crushed, and you can't see the wicks here for the market maker stop hunt things, but you can just get used to the fact that some of the money you make in these markets, like if you were to and this is actually a trend trade, this is going to show up. If this is a 2-hour chart, on the half hour, this looks like an amazing, oh look, we're just going, I'm sure there's tops become bottoms if you go to the half hour during this phase. And I don't know what this is. Maybe this is the beginning, end of the day. I don't know what these time things are here, but you could just count the next, well, we just went down 2 hours straight. Now we're dying out. We're pausing here. What do you think this thing's going to get a little choppy now? You can go and buy it. What's the chances of that? But yeah, it's, of course, this is, you cannot see whether you would have got stopped out of these things, but you're probably going to get stopped out of something. But this double top on the 2 hour, and another cool thing is you can see that's a doji because it went sideways, indecision. 4 hours of where are we going? Well, of course, if they're not going to take it down, they're going to take it up. But here is the premium entry is to, maybe you did trade that little gust of wind, but don't forget, the real trade is going to be in the comeback before it goes. The comeback before it dumps. This is the comeback. This is the pullback into the previous low. So I guess on a 2 hour chart, you've got whatever 2 times, how many, two goes into 24, how many times, but you're going to get way better entries here. Even if you traded this from a really crude retail trading method where not getting in on limits, but getting in on wide stops, which is like, you see this all day long with these people risking on some rule system that they came up with. I got this rule system. A very disciplined trader too. Yeah, I know, but it's not time to pull out the rule book when the market, yeah, I guess your rule is, I don't know, I just watched this guy do a video where he's like, we're waiting for this thing to go down like this. I'm like, dude, if you cannot see that you just fucked up so big by not selling here, that whatever you're doing now, you're exposing yourself now to the market coming doing like boom, boom. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. Maybe after this big move, yeah, there's follow through for sure, right? You want to pick up this, but holy God, this must be the lower risk window for this every time. Then the first time we get trapped below this price, it's right here where it goes flat, and it becomes the bottom again. In time, waited 2 hours, boom, hit the key. I don't know what time that is. Maybe it's so you have your clock, and you have 2 hour slices of pie on this thing. And I always like the analog version. But yeah, every 2 hours. So here's noon. Here's 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8, 10. So here's your time every 2 hours. And so, I mean, hey, what are you going to do? You have to wait for the damn thing to close there, and you just hit the button. At least this way, you're only allowed, if you're only trading, how many trades could you possibly pull off a day, right? 12 trades, right? So you have 12 chances to blow your account up. Well, you're not going to. And you don't have to backtest that. Is this thing's churning water here? Okay, 1, 2, this is a good, almost a whole day of garbage. But where does it come back to? Comes back to the balls. And here is the momentum trader's dream where, we're just not, every hour, we're just not closing there. And forget this, just forget about the wicks. Hopefully you've got a wide enough stop that your stop is here and you're looking to make this. Your stops are like this, you're looking to make that. I mean, this kind of ratio. None of this, well, if we're lucky, Good God. And even on this one, if you think about I just saw another video today where the guy said, hey, listen, the best trader in the world's right 50% of the time. If that's true, then when it goes bashing down here, you buy, you buy, you buy, you buy, you stop buying. You're in 4. How'd that trade work out? Holy God. If your stop was here and you said every time I'm just going to scale into this thing. How'd you do on that trade? 2-hour chart. This one, if you sold this and you thought it was going to just keep going, you got to remember this price. The market certainly has a memory of that price. You know, that has to be, I guess I should blow the damn chart up. But then it makes the balls smaller. So I don't like that, I guess. But here you can see all the way back. I don't know how the trend line tool works in here. But you can see it. It's better to print it out and prove to yourself that it's true. That this is the first. Well, here's the first pullback for an uptrend. And that failed. But this is the first time you just pull the trigger here. You just buy. This is the first time it failed to go down. And wait another 2 hours. You can't buy here. You can't buy here because it already went up. Now you're chasing it. If you didn't buy enough down here, wait. Wait till it pulls back. It really didn't pull back. Don't think that the people that have sold this thing aren't aware of the fact, you know what, it's just not going down. They have to cover. So you cover with them, you put buy stops here. And then finally it pays off. But you've already got your sell pendings up here. And you probably got filled on the wicks here. I can't imagine the market's turning on a dime on these balls. So you have to give yourself a wick window of entry. And then you're going to come back and buy it. You're going to buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. You just can't be one of these people. If you want to kill in these markets and you don't have a day job and all you do is babysit this crap, and you only have to check the fucking thing 12 times a day, maybe not even that. Just check it in the morning. If we're down here and you see it's dying out like this and you look back here, you're like, I'm buying this whole region and I'm going to get the fuck out here. The last known armpit. If this is the shoulder, this is the armpit. And that's where everybody gets out. Duh. I'm just saying, well, for me, I'm only speaking for myself. I've seen probably the forest chart definitely threw me for a loop, but most people are sitting on candlesticks and they don't even talk about it. Like, they're not even candlestick traders, but I see people going, well, I'm just using candlesticks because, well, that's what everybody's using. But would you look out your windshield? You're driving your car, and people go, you know what we did with your car? I'm like, no, tell me. Well, we put Venetian blinds on it. You can still see out of it. You just can't see peripherally now. But you can see straight ahead, like, what's the problem? You're on the highway. It's not like a deer. Not like you're going to get out of the way of a deer coming at you. But I think it makes a difference. Especially if you're supposedly risking money and you're scared out of your mind. Don't you want something just you can navigate, just like this reminds me of like looking at the Big Dipper. You can do Big Dipper trades here because it's like that's a constellation. Because it's dots and lines and dots. Connect the dots. I remember they used to say that when we were kids. Connect the dots. Well, it shouldn't be hard here. And when people say, I can't believe you're buying, I'm like, yeah, I can't believe you're still selling. I'd like to get out here, like, and this burst here to this flat spot doji. Okay, I'll take that chunk. But then I'm like, if I drilled down, maybe I could squeeze a few pips off of here. But if you're really trying to make 50 pips and you're trying to make 20 pips, trying to make 10 pips, if this is the 5-minute chart, you just literally sit there and go, it's 7 minutes after the hour. I have to buy. Well, why are you buying? I mean, that country's having a riot, a race riot. Just going with the order flows of the real market. This fundamental news stuff, I'm still never going to understand how people are making money off that stuff. I talked to this one guy. He says, well, I'm using a 500 pip stop. I go, okay, I get it. Yeah, a 500 pip stop. I'm a fundamental trader. Good God, I mean, think of what a scalper could do with a 500 pip stop. They'd be like, oh my God, I feel like I just moved into a giant 500 room palace. I can be a pig and just leave stuff strewn around in here. But, man, I just can't take it. But this is a real easier way to do it. It's just counting out time. Price over time. And you could put all your Gartleys on here. It's probably easier to see a Gartley on here. People probably already see, if you know what a, well, I don't want to say Gartley. I want to say a, the whole idea of this Gartley stuff is you're trying to get in an unfair value. And you're going to trade it back to fair. It's a retracement trade. It's a trend continuation trade on a 5-minute chart. I get that. Like the market's going up. You're looking for a Gartley on the 5-minute. But looking for a Gartley on this 2-hour chart, that's going to take a long time. So when it comes up here and this is your X and this is your, you know, A, B, and this is C or whatever, that's what these guys are looking at. They're like, okay, what's going to go and stop these people out? We're going to get in here. Well, duh, who isn't? Right? It's all about, oh, let's go bid it up here and take it up to where everybody's like, wow, that's the limit. Yeah, no shit, you put your limits up there. And then this big thing. I just heard a guy say on this other video from like 3 years ago, and there's all these, they just keep, I guess the algorithms that search for your favorite thing to watch keep on getting more and more detailed as time goes on. And so they have suggested for me to look at something else. So the guy says, I guess you see it all, right? Here's 6 hours. Less decisions here. So you have to check the chart a couple times a day. Top and bottom of the hour. If they open it at midnight, I know when I have to watch this thing open to see what they consider to be 6 hours, but maybe they're using New York time, 5 p.m. It looks like that's what the standard is. I guess if you're trading in the States, it's going to be 5 p.m. on your chart. 4-hour chart's going to go 591. But this is your buy limits are going to be down here. I think that's obvious. At least one of them for the scalp. There'll always be a scalp built in every trade, but I'm also talking about trading multiple orders. I wouldn't be just trading the. This is obviously a top, so you're gonna have a buy limit here, and look at this amazing. Now this is 6 hour, so you already know this is like a complete momentum compression there. Perfect head shoulder. Each dot is a price point, so I'm not counting. I'm not saying this is a head and this is a shoulder. I'm actually saying that I'm going down a smaller fractal, and I'm saying that this here. So when people say head and shoulders, I'm saying this is a shoulder, head, shoulder, boom. So this would be the head, this would be the shoulder. You're already onto it. You can't say, well, here's my head and here's my, you can say this is my head and that's my shoulder, but if you say this is my shoulder, head, I'm waiting for another shoulder, don't wait. And people have trend lines drawn on close, or the market is creating a compression that you can draw a trend line on. The fact that people are doing the same thing, I guess it kind of, right? I mean, people are saying, you know what, I bought here on this beautiful 6 hour pullback, but now this has become resistance. Perfectly in time. It also becomes another big debating price here. But here's the classic double top. And here's the full, failed head and shoulders. So here's your shoulder, head, shoulder. But I think this was obvious that the people that are on the larger time frame, they have sell stop stacking up here, which is going to fuel that move. It has nothing to do with anything other than order fulfillment. So as this is going up every 6 hours, I don't know if I'd be putting in, of course, every time it goes up, I'd be putting in sell stops probably. They could have come back and tagged me and raped me, but now you have to get this sizing stop right on that. But as soon as it goes down, you're not going to put any more. Unless you're not big in. I guess if you're not in big enough, you could do that, but I think you'd run super tight stops on this stuff. Anytime I think that you go with where the market's going, like when the market's going up like this, I'd be running super tight stops with more grandiose targets. But when the market's going down, it's going up like this, I would say, oh, I got to stop in there in case it reverses. I got to stop in there in case it reverses. Stop and reverse, right? And here, your stop and reverses would have to have wider take profits and wider stop outs. So as you're getting filled, say along here, you kind of got snagged by it just coming back. But you definitely want to have something short. And here, I guess when it closes down, you could sell, but it would be super trend trade styled script where it's got a tight stop. You're in pretty, maybe the exact same size as you were on the other way. And you're looking to make, say you're selling 3 on a stop. So you're selling, if it goes 1 pip lower, you're going to sell. 2 pips lower, you're going to sell. 3 pips lower, you're going to sell. And you have a master stop connected to these 3. Then when you finally get filled, you know, the market's going to come in here and trigger these sell stops. Boom, boom, boom. And this is only 3 pip window, right? You can't really see it on this 6-hour chart. But now you're going to cash out of, say, this guy's going to cash out real early because he was first in, first out, I suppose. If you're in the States, the script would run. But the problem with first in, first out thing, which you can't get my brain around, is that what if it kicks back and then I don't even know what. I really don't have spent the time on that algorithm, so I don't trade on that system. I can't do it. I'm going to trade where I'm allowed to put multiple orders in. As this spills down, I'm going to get out here. I'm going to get out here just because we all know this is a double top. And after that many hours, I'm sorry, yeah, right here. I know I'm going to get out of something here because this is an important price. As this comes down, and just whoosh, I mean 6 hours clean, I'm going to get out of something here too. But because if this becomes, it overshot the runway there. Now, you got to believe that if you're running this 6-hour chart on the other side of your desk, you've at least got a 15-minute chart so that you can do the same thing. This is really for somebody that doesn't want to trade very often. They're like, oh, I'm short. I'm just going to let it go. We're going to here. You know. But this is the retracement trade, or this is the sell high and let it come down. Here, certainly, if your robot runs a trailing stop of protection, he might have got stopped out of here on some, but he definitely got stopped out here when it went gushing back. But this is actually almost the same amount of pips in just 12 hours down. But as this thing's dripping, and then like they're just, you know, people are trading this probably on the half hour thinking, what a great little baby downtrend. But these markets are so ridiculous. I mean, they're literally going from these a 6-hour chart here. I mean, look at this run. Never looks back. Then, a little choppy. Give it all back. Amazing. Just amazing. What's the chance this will be a good place to trade a bounce on the euro dollar? The trick is to get all these orders in, coming in tonight, and trade the indecision that's probably going to happen here. Because yeah, maybe they're going to go lower. Maybe it's going to go to this. Maybe it's going to go down here. But you got all week. I mean, here I suppose at 6 bars a day on the 4-hour. Less here. 6. Go to the 8-hour chart. 3 bars a day. I got 8 on here. I guess not. Oh wait, no, it's down at the bottom. Here are 8 hours. Really don't want to get involved in these markets. Look at this. Look at this ridiculously obvious. I mean, it's just criminal, really. This is only criminal if you have no patience and you look back in the chart and you just think, God, why couldn't I just wait for this setup? What the hell? I mean, how stupid. And this is, I don't know, these lines are arbitrary, these horizontal lines. There's no pip grid in here, but, man, God, 8 hours down here, create a major bottom we explode off of. And what's the chances that we come back to the scene of the crime for another run? What are the chances of that? It's just so ridiculous. This is a huge doji, monster compression zones. Becomes the place to buy on the pullback. And you don't have to have you could have a day job and trade this stuff. So these are going to be big, and these boxes here, and you just plot out the whole week, I mean the whole next week. You know there's going to be, if it ever makes it to here, there's going to be a shootout, you know. It should be pretty easy. And then of course, if you're on the 15-minute chart, you're going to be waiting for that. But you can kind of see what's going to happen here next week. There's be a big slight bit of follow through here, and the first bounce zone should be this double top internally. So we all kind of know that. To maximize the money on that, you may have to babysit it. I would certainly trade really heavy, close to the market with tight stops, always. That's always going to be in other words, if you open a store next to the other guy's store, and you're in a street of just nothing but fashion district, and you're going to open up your store, you're in the battle zone. But that's really where the money's made, because you're going to get some spillover customers from the other stores, and who cares if maybe they're just coming to your store because the other people just pissed them off, and they need a place to go, and you're there with your order, you know. And that's why you have to have these orders sitting in close. But you also have these, I would say, Stapleton entries where you're like, oh, we're going to wait about 3 weeks to enter here. You guys got enough money in your account to hold you out? Oh, yeah. Well, Akel Stokes has like I got $3 million in my account, so I really don't have to be a trader anymore. I just wait for setups on the 3-month. But maybe, yeah, that's trading, right? Well, you're trading your whole life. I mean, the idea that you haven't killed yourself yet, you're still buying into it. Look at the 15-minute world. Now, this is torturous to people that want to see the market go somewhere. It's pure torture. Well, it can be, unless if you have a script for this, where you're just going to buy for the next hour this deep, and it's designed to dump, and you have when it's down here, you have sell limits running. It's designed to dump, or when you see it up, you sell, and you see it down, you buy. I don't know if you want to get on stop entries here. I think it's more of a limit world. But you could have a buy stop here, and yeah, you overpay for that move. Better to lay in a capture grid here for this quietness part. And here, maybe your long-term buy stops haven't triggered. You've been dropping them, but they haven't triggered, and maybe they did. You can't see it here. That's why I think it's always better to buy on limits, because if you go back and look at these charts, you'll be assured that if you just threw a buy limit in the first time this went sideways, you probably got filled. If you put it in close enough, you know, if you're on the fashion street, you opened up your business close enough to other businesses, you're going to make money. Now this outlier here, this is when, well, these orders fill finally, but now that the volatility's picked up, you've got to change your scheme to, all right, let's start running the sell stops below and a little bit wider, and let's think about, do I have sell limits that lasted, that are still lingering up here, and I have a logical grid? This has to make sense that you still, or you just threw some in on this burst and you're like, okay, man, this could be like one of these wackadoodle moves. Like right here, when we break this, duh. But notice the last fake out, this is the lowest close in the pack. If you have a pending buy limit, you have to keep reloading naturally, right? Because you have to keep scalping out of this thing. But you know this is probably coming. And maybe your stop is here. Maybe a master stop stacking up. Just in case you're wrong. And even if you missed out on that move, look how we come right back to fair value. We actually close on the 15-minute chart at fair value again. And then we really go. And then we really trap these people up here. Oh, God. This is why when it's going up, you're running your sell stop insurance policy. I don't know if I'd jump on the short train here. I would with very short, very tight stops. Very tight. And wide limits. Here I would go into full trend mode. Here on this thing, you got to go a little bit light, because if you're getting filled on sell limits up here, you're already loading in. Here, I don't even know. Buy limits would have to be, as soon as the ATR goes to this level, your buy limits have to be psycho deep now. You have to switch modes to like trading super wide, super safe. I guess that's what I call it, safe. Something your wife would approve of. Oh, look, he's not smashed another car. Wow, you're really doing good this week. But look at that. Buy stops here stacking up. So, yeah. And then buy limits. So we come into the evening here. We could get another pounce down. Definitely. You got to go out, I guess, enough to see. So let me go to the infamous 12-hour chart, which is actually up and down. I've seen it literally go up and down, up and down. Here's a beautiful double bottom on the 12. But you can see the pressure stacking up on this. Perfect double top. Of course, I don't know when they're closing this, but who cares? Go to the 6-hour chart, or just go to the other time frame if you really. Now, I have had that torturous anxiety of jumping to different time frames and thinking, well, if this 12-hour chart looks this good, I wonder what the other 12-hour chart from the other broker looks like that starts at a different time on the clock. And of course, at that point, you're going to start, you could get neurotic and actually say, well, what is it like on the half-hour, 12-hour chart? But this is definitely the doji, the indecision, flat top, breakout. You're running your breakouts, trend continuation scripts here, which have tight stop with really greedy take profits. I would run those during this phase here. On this drop down here, maybe only your buy limits are filling. You started buying below here all the way. So your trade plan is, or your structure, this is really the real structure of the market. I know these guys talk about structure, but if you got candles up, how can you see it, right? This is the important price that everybody's wants to lock in. And there's a nearly perfect trend line here where this setup comes to fruition, although the stars align. But a lot of people are going to get out here to pad, let the rest go maybe. And then double top, just, this is a 12-hour chart now, so stuff here, wait another 12 hours for these buy limits to fill. If those don't fill, I'd seriously consider buying every hour it drops. And of course it's not going to turn on a dime and just go to the moon. I mean, the problem is you have that feeling. It did here. I mean, it pulled back here, went up, didn't really go to the moon. It kind of like a creeper gear. The news is coming out. People are anxious. People are getting kind of squeezed, and then boom. So certainly 12 hours clean up like this, and you get out, and maybe you get back into the Asian session. I'm sure you can see here where there's probably a place to get in on the 2-hour chart. I would just run this as my signal entry thing, all this stuff, and then you have to trade off a MetaTrader for the really you have to trade off that. I can't imagine, I don't know what these guys have, but if I'm going to sit here and pull the trigger on some position, I don't know, I just can't imagine doing it. Because there's so many places to get, you can't see it on this chart, but there's so many places to get on the wagon that you're like, okay, the move's not over. The final target's down here, so let's jump on the 15-minute train. Let's not commit to driving across the whole country. And but yeah, if you're quick on the draw, that's 6 minute, that's 10-second chart here. So this is a great way to go. If you're a scalper, here the 15-second chart, why not, right? 4 bars per minute. Forget 15-minute chart, 15-second chart. Now this is scalp, this is buy at the market fill. If I get this thing to zoom out, I have a lot of choices here. I'm not in the full package. I don't know. Menu. Anyways, you can see here you'd have to really just be on your finger on the trigger, triple bottom. Well, the spread would probably kill you. That's why you'd have to zoom out. Oh, here I can just go over here. But here's a setup on a 15-second chart. Indecision. Okay, burst. You're in. They probably filled you on stops here. Then you get a hold. Here's a nice. It's plunging down. I'm gonna buy, stop buying, let it go. Depends how big you're trading. But you can't even see it here. And then when the news came out on the 15-second chart, I don't even know how far I can go back here. But this is here's some wackadoodle stuff. Some nutty stuff there, but line dot, net denya, line dot. I guess it only goes back so far on that time frame. Here, let's go to the 30-second chart, because the 1-minute chart is a little bit too, I don't have the patience for it. So look at this extreme buying entry, and then you have to wait a whole minute and a half, dump, you're out. That's your whole trade day. Here's what the hell, super doji on the couple dojis on the 5-minute probably made that. And of course, this is I'm gonna have to see tonight if this is running with the here's a slam. This must be the news came out. So you can see how bash. Just buy there. Got 30 seconds to buy. Buy. Man, that would be cool. That's 30-second line dot. So you can tell where 30 seconds went by. So if you have a patience, if you have an impatient person, you have issues with patience, then you only had to wait 30 seconds. First bounce, put your buy stop on here. Now you waited a minute. And yeah, you're in. And here's your pullback. You had to wait 2 minutes for that pullback. Ouch. Hardly wait. You had to put buy limits in here on this. You have a pending buy limit here and a buy limit for this is going to be the stop hunt on a 30-second chart, you know. So that's the window. You're in, you hold it, you break out a bit to your target, maybe you dump the whole thing. And maybe you're like, oh my God, this is crazy, news day. Got 2-minute pullback, buy, this is the trap. Everybody has their stops in there, you're in. But here, 30-second chart before the news, maybe it's not tradable. Okay, I hope that helps. That's not too offensive. Got a little rambunctious there in the beginning, using the F word. I don't know. Some people use that. It's tough. Someday they're going to ban that word, I think. It's just too vulgar. The vulgar trader. I guess you just get angry. Too much coffee here. It's just, never should have bought dark roast. Although they say it's got less caffeine.